my hair and I kind of want to talk about like things I'm going to do with this channel. Look, I kind of know like by looking at the demographics, and I'm going to be honest with you, anybody that has a long hair channel knows what drives their demographics. I know a lot of people, okay, and I get a lot of people, they do DIY and they're more like tutorial channel, but if they're honest with themselves and their demographics at the end of the day, they do have a large male audience that watches their channel because they like long hair. And personally, like I never had a problem with that. Like I don't have a problem with people liking to see my content because I have long hair. And I know that I don't always have time to do tutorials. Like sometimes I just do like, aesthetic. Like I show long hair and how I groom my hair and things like that. That's fine. So I have a second channel that I used to work on, and I'm going to tell you why I will rarely and barely and probably never really get back to that channel is I'm working 38 hours a week. Not only am I working 38 hours a week, but I am a pedestrian, which means I walk 3 miles, 3 miles from where I work, home most nights. So and then I shop, and then I do other things, and I don't even know how I manage to still clean my house. I want to cook more. I sit down on myself, and I'm like, why am I not cooking more? Why am I not doing more of this and this? And I'm like, you know what? It's because I push myself to bring some back. Like people who want to make the edited video, okay, and they focus only on edited videos, maybe they really push themselves, but they're not putting out as much content. But the thing is, if I were to sit there and just be like I know they always talk about high quality content and how they have to have certain type of content for their channel, and I get it, it's very beautiful stuff, but I would pretty much never make a video if that was my way of thinking. I'm not type A. I'm not a type A person. The only thing I'm kind of type A about is when I do an art project, I get really obsessed about that. But when it comes to a video, like I'm older than a lot of the YouTubers. I remember old YouTube. It wasn't always like, oh my god, like polished, like needing to look like TV. And I don't really love like polished media anyway. Like I don't have a mega love for polished media. I just don't. So I've just decided I'm not gonna call myself a lifestyle channel, but I'm just using this as keyword lifestyle because I feel like a lot of lifestyle channel is a certain aesthetic, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing here because I cannot burn myself out. I don't know where people think they get this magical amount of time because look, like I thought I'm going to cook last night. I thought I'm going to cook. I want to make something. And it was just like a comedy of errors or something because I started going in the cabinet. And then I knocked over a can, not a can, but like a container of chia seeds, okay? And then I had to clean that up. And I'm sorry, like I have these ideas in my head, like, oh, I want to make this edited video or that. Well, yes, I get it. Like, you could make less content and just have edited videos, but then I don't really understand, like, the point of the atrophy rate. Like, and then on Instagram, people post less edited content anyway. So I'm getting so cold. Like, I turned on the air conditioner just for a minute to get some of the humidity out of this apartment, but now I'm feeling it. Anyway, so yeah, because the weird thing about California is when the temperature drops, it tends to get more humid. It's kind of strange, but so we have a cloud cover over us. Anyhow, my whole point is, I get it. Like if your first channel, like, look, I had a lot of hopes and dreams for this channel. Like I thought, like when it was really, really growing before the pandemic, I thought it's gonna get bigger and bigger. But to be honest with you, I know what it is. Like there's only certain kinds of videos that will continue to take off, and I don't feel upset about it. But like I'm not gonna be one of these people that is like, oh my god, I can't do YouTube anymore just because I can't make this high quality content. Like I told you, I feel like it's the type A's. Like why do the type A's get to control like content? Like, do only the type A people get to produce things and create things for the world to disseminate? I don't know. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't think only type A people who are making super edited, and I also still feel like, in my opinion, That's one thing that has made social media really unhealthy, is that people think that if it's not like curated, like, how do people go out in the daily world and have discussions with each other if everything has to be just so edited all the time? I would be so exhausted if I felt like everything I had to do is being curated and edited. And another thing is, I don't want to be like, okay, if I'm going to have a channel, I want to be my flippin' self. I don't want to be anybody else. I don't want to pretend to be anybody else on camera. I won't do that. Like, why? Why would I do that? I don't see the point. I'm not an actor. I'm just sharing part of my life. So I've decided, for better or worse, I do have my other channel. And it's not that I'm type A with my other channel, but I will only make content on my other channel when I have time, which who knows when that'll be next. I don't know. So I do the hair channel because I do my hair every day and I can talk and do my hair. And for me, that works. Like, that's just where I am right now. And I think it's more fun than being one of these people who feels like, oh my gosh, I can't have a YouTube channel anymore because my life just took over. But yet they will stream on other platforms. Like, I don't understand, like, who made these rules? I'm kind of a rule breaker, though, you see. Like, just because, like, some people think it's like, oh, if it's a government that makes the rules, but sometimes it's just people that get together and they make all these rules. And I'm like, who made that rule? Like, I'm gonna smash the rule, okay? I'm like, who made the rule? The edited videos are the best content to watch, because I don't even always like to watch that. Like, sometimes I just watch people live streaming, like, or just people talking. Like, I just think that's more interesting. I just don't know who made these rules. It's not my thing. And yes, edited videos are very beautiful to see. And I guess I could just shut up and make one. But where am I going to get the time? Are you going to come scrub my toilet? Or are you going to come clean my house for me? No, you're not. So I do what I want to do. And I want to primarily post here, and I I'm not going to call myself a lifestyle channel. I'm just going to call myself a long hair journey channel, because that's what I am. Long hair journey live streaming channel, I guess you could say. When I'm ready, I will. Right now I'm talking and doing what I'm doing. It's all about the real time, you see. Real time, real time, real time. What you get is what you see on the screen every day. It's real life, real time, all the way. That's another thing too. Like, people act like, "Oh, your hair is more valid." Like, when we see it at a certain angle, I'm like, really? Who made that rule? I smash your rule. Like, every day, if you have a rule, I break it, because you're like, who makes these little rules? I'm just like, no. Like, I don't agree with you anymore. Like, because people are gonna like, and there's nothing wrong with showing my hair. I'm just being silly. So my whole thought is on this is, I don't even think that just posting like edited content makes your channel more high value or more high quality. I feel like I love interacting with the camera, and I kind of have this dynamic with you guys, because it's me and it's you and it's real and it's visceral. And don't you want that? Like, isn't that something, like, that is something that's missing? That is something that's missing in our modern tech culture, because people are so afraid. Like, they don't want to post anything that deviates from who they really are or how they may really be in public. They're so afraid to do anything in real time because they might say a word or make a facial expression, or they might sneeze, like, literally. I was watching some of those, like, YouTube University, like, videos on how to promote our content better, and I stopped watching those things because there was one that said, it literally said, "Oh my God, you need to, like, edit sneezing and things like that out of a video, because somebody might click out of a video if somebody sneezed." And I was thinking, how absurd is that? And no wonder. Like, it's not social media that's like the issue or the problem, it's how people use it. Like, okay, so in real life, if somebody sneezes, like you're gonna just turn away or something because they sneeze? I mean, it's weird. And then how do you go out in public and talk to people because you have to do that in real time? I think live streaming is really good for practicing your social skills. You know why? Because it gets you over that and it's actually helped me a lot. Like it's helped me a lot because I'm still a shy person, but I've gotten over my anxiety of second guessing everything I say all the time. Because back in the day, I used to be like, oh my God, did I say the right thing? Like I would question myself a lot. But then I started thinking, you only have one life. Are you going to spend the rest of your life replaying everything you say and polishing every word that is uttered from your mouth? I know some people and why do the type A people get to like, okay, I get it. Type A people like this certain perfection, but at the end of the day, some of what they consider perfection to me isn't even that interesting. And I'm not trying to get down on you if you're type A person. I'm gonna go get some coffee. I just don't understand this way of thinking anymore. I'm kind of like over it. I'm like, type A people run the show in so many aspects. So people are so upset about like they talk about government authoritarianism and they talk about all sorts of authoritarianism, but there's a lot of just like, how should I put it this way? Like just social authoritarianism in a way. Like, if you want to talk about like true authoritarianism, like, what about like just social dynamics where people decide that one form of interaction is more valid than another? And I feel like that's the disconnect, okay? That's why young people today, or just people that are online a lot, they when they go in public, they say they feel anxious because they have to talk to people. But I'm like, what is wrong with talking to people? Like I've done it all my life. Like I'm not the most outgoing person, but I realized something about myself. I've always been able just to do like say hello to people. And it's not like you're telling them your life story or anything. It's just like you're just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" And like you're just being cordial and you're asking them about things. And I found like a few years ago when I started just being inquisitive about people and not making a conversation always about myself and just asking people things about like something that they were reading or wearing or doing, that they would start telling me a story that would be so much more interesting and fascinating than something that I would have to say, you know? Like, and a lot of your social anxiety, I think, goes away when you do live streaming because it's in real time, okay? Nobody can edit you. You have to just say it and be okay with it because that's how life is. Like, you only have one life anyway. What are you going to spend the rest of your life rehearsing everything you're going to say? I think that's where people get weirded out about social media. I don't know. It's just like, and then they've decided that one group of people get to run the show, and I don't agree. Like, I have a different opinion on it. See, I always have a lot of opinions every day, though. So that's just me and my little opinions every day. Always a new opinion to share. And I thought I got this little snarly out, but apparently this one never got out completely. I kind of work this one out because I'm like, I want my hair to be snarled up. And I feel like, yeah. Prom? I don't. I didn't go to prom. What's my go-to style for proms? I have a lot of opinions about proms. I think when you're young, like prom seems so important. It's just like the most like it's the make or break event in your life. And when you're younger, yeah, prom seems really exciting. I don't know, whatever hairstyle you want to do, like that looks nice to you. I guess a lot of people do updos, but like the longer you live, like once you get out of your 20s and you're into your 30s, you're just like prom's kind of like just this distant idea. And there's so many more events you'll go to in your life where you can dress up that'll be so much more fun than prom. And I feel like what it is like in American movies, like kids, they see these high school kids and they think like high school is where you peak or something. Like it's the most exciting point in your life. But there's a lot of other times where you can dress up and I don't know. Prom just wasn't on my radar. Like I didn't want to go. I don't know. One time a guy asked me to homecoming, and I thought it was a joke because I kind of ignored him. Okay, when I was in high school, I had no interest in dating. I wasn't into the dating scene. I actually didn't date until I was 23. True story. Like I was a little bit later coming to that game because when I was younger, I was a very shy person and I was just into my school and doing my schoolwork. And yeah, so I didn't start dating until my 20s. So yeah, that was my first relationship when I was 23. So yeah, I kind of missed the whole prom scene. Like it wasn't something I did. So yeah, I kind of and even though I've dated over the years, I've dated I mean, I've had relationships, but I haven't had as many as some people. Like some people, they just have a serial number of relationships, and I haven't had that many. Like I've had a few, but like yeah, so for prom, I don't know. You can go with your friends. You don't have to go on a date. But I just like when I think about it, like the way that they make it look in the 80s, 90s, early 2000 movies. I mean, I don't know. Like is I don't really watch the movies coming up now, but I'm guessing like prom's still a big thing. Updo, maybe? Maybe. Neighbors had a package delivered. It just always scares me. Just like being thrown on the patio over there. I'm doing good. How are you? So yeah, I'm not trying to be anti-prom. I'm just like it wasn't on my radar. Like I just didn't do like all that social like even when I was in college, there was I don't know, like there were a few guys that liked me in college, but they were like the older guys. And by the time, well, and when I was a senior, there were a few guys that did like me, but I don't know, like when I was in college, I had no interest in dating. Like, I mean, I thought about it sometimes, but I just thought, hey, I need to get school done. I want to do my schooling. And then it wasn't until after I was out of college that, like I said, I started the whole dating thing. And to be honest with you, I'll tell you, I think I'm glad because I think women, when they start dating or men start dating too young before school's over, I feel like it can kind of, like, it can maybe cloud some of your judgments unless you want to get married and have a family, like, at a young age. But that wasn't my goal. So, yeah, I haven't really, I guess I'm not what you call a traditionalist, right? I don't know. I haven't, like, some people are really into that traditional like meet somebody, date someone, they have this certain linear life path. Like look, my sibling did, my sister, she got married soon after high school, like she had kids, that was her whole life path. Like for me, no, didn't really happen that way because I was so shy. Like I'm still a very reserved person. Like I tell you, I will talk to people, but I'm not like this go-getter. I'm not like a lot of people. Very assertive, very out there about all their opinions to everybody in the general public, telling people how great they are. Like just very they're not wallflowers. You know what I'm saying? Some people are very out there in the open about their opinions about everything. And they'll tell you what they think about like everything. That wasn't really me at all growing up. So, yeah. I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Like, I don't think I would have wanted to date a lot of people or like be promiscuous. Like, actually, like that was the thing. Like the last time that back in like December when I kind of like had a falling out with a guy that he kind of chided me about was that I wasn't promiscuous enough. Oh yeah, he like chided me for not being sexually adventurous enough. Okay, as if that's a bad thing. Oh, you mean like not sleeping around is a bad thing? Well, I guess to him and to people like that, but I started to realize it's because like who knows? Like I don't know. He's probably slept with the whole community. Like I don't know. Like it seems like the way he talks, like it was just like, how dare you not try to meet someone and be more like sexually adventurous and like it was weird. I was like, okay. That was another thing. I thought that was really strange. I'm like, most people think that's a good thing because I was talking to my friend about it recently. She's like, what's his problem? Like I get it. Like some people like to go around and kind of meet up with everybody, but life is not Sex in the City. And I think there's a problem if you approach life that way. It's just kind of convoluted. I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so I didn't go to prom. I have dated on and off over the years, but I'm not like one of these people that's just out to, I don't know, like I might still be single, but it's just because I haven't met the right person. I'm not a serial dater like some people I've realized, okay, they get married or they're in relationships and they still believe in the dabble dabble. Like, they're always curious. They're curious about the world and everything, I guess. Like, and not only do they get married and they have a relationship, they just have some on the side. Sometimes they're in relationships where the person's okay with it. Other times they don't tell like their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife that they're doing stuff with other people. And I kind of have a problem with that. I think if you're gonna be like that kind of person, maybe you need to be open about who you are. Like I just think it's weird, but like apparently in our modern culture, like because I've heard this a lot recently. Like I haven't had as many women tell me this, but I've had men just like when you're on the dating app, even there was a guy that told me, I have a girlfriend. This guy said it, and he lives far from his girlfriend. I don't know, but they had like some sort of arrangement where she was okay with him, and maybe I don't know if she was doing it too, but according to him, she was okay with him like having an arrangement, like just a casual thing with like random people. And I'm like, why are you on a dating app? Like, go find another app because really, like the dating app said it's not really for that. Like there are other apps for that sort of thing, if you know what I mean. So I just blocked that guy because I was like, that's weird. That's really weird. Like, why would you think I'm interested in that? But it's kind of common. Like, it's kind of interesting. I'm just like, okay. I guess like a lot of people, they just like. I mean, I know people have always done that, but I think they're just more out in the open about how fluid they are. But I don't think you can ever be happy. This is my thought on that. And I've talked about this before. I don't think you're ever going to be happy when you cannot be in a monogamous relationship. I think there's something very wrong about someone who can't just be with one person. Like, I feel like it's a defect within themselves. Like, I do. Like, if, like, personally, I have never been non-monogamous. Like I just haven't. And I'm not trying to get down on polygamy or polygyny. Look, if you love that sort of thing and you think it works, great. Good for you. But I just think there's something kind of weird about it. Like I just don't understand people that think they need to be with multiple partners and that one person can't satisfy them. It's kind of odd. Like really? But yeah, like that's the thing. A lot of people either they don't tell their wives or girlfriends or husbands or boyfriends about it, or they both do it. And you have a little bit of both. It's a very interesting combination. But some of them, I guess, some of them they don't say anything. I mean, look, it's pretty common, I guess. And yeah, but it's very creepy to me. And I feel like, it's like, why is it that one person's not enough for you? Maybe you're not enough for the world. If like maybe you like need to work on yourself. Like I think if one person is not enough for you, that you're lacking something within you. Like what is it that you could improve about your own life as opposed to looking for this exciting kink outside of your relationship, you know? So yeah, I just when people say, "Oh, I need multiple things," or "I can be happy with my wife and girlfriend for a stretch, but hey, I need like this thing to keep the excitement, to ignite it." And I'm like, maybe there's something missing within you. That's what I think about people who do that. I just don't get it. Like, really? I just don't. I'm having a good day. I'm just talking about different things because sometimes just things pop into my head. Does this black color seem dark? Is that why? I'm sorry. I'm not upset. I'm just talking. I guess what I'm just conveying is I'm not part of like all these dating sing culture things that people talk about. Like I'm like, okay, and you are like what's your point? Like that's what I just always it kind of pops in my head. I'm like, why? Like, why can't you just be happy within yourself? This is my thought. Monogamy is more than enough for anybody. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying it has, like, I don't care if you're gay or if you are straight. Like, I feel like whoever you want to be with, that one person should be enough. Like, this is just my take on it. Like, I don't care who you're sleeping with, but I feel like unless you just want to like be risky with your own life, then just sleep around, whatever. But I just feel like if you're the kind of person that wants to be in a relationship and you've like settled on a relationship with this particular person, then you need to just say, you know what? That person is enough for me. And I need to work within myself, like to figure out what it is within myself. Like, cause maybe like you're like I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, the spark was missing." And I was thinking, well, what are they doing? Like maybe like they're not that exciting to their partner that they're cheating on. Like maybe there's something about them that's lacking. Like have they thought about taking a class or just reconnecting with their partner in a certain way? Like and also too, like I just feel like it's just so vapid really because people can pretend like, oh, like that they can do all these things and there's no feelings involved, but it's not really true because people they get their feelings hurt and people do form attachments and it gets messy and it's weird. So all this modern like, oh my gosh, like nobody forms an attachment to anybody. There was actually like I think an experiment like this and it was before it was actually back in the 1900s, late 1900s in New York somewhere, where it was like a swinger group and everybody changed sexual partners and they all were kind of like just sleeping with various people, okay? But they said within 2 years everybody went back to their original partner. And why is that? That's interesting. So they had the opportunity like in these swinger communities. And why do these swinger communities not continue on? Like why is it that when people do these things there's always like misunderstandings or breakups? Like why? It's because you know what? Humans do have jealousy. Humans do have boundaries. And you can't just pretend. I know like some people are going to say, "Well, I can have multiple wives and it's fine and they all feel okay about it." But you don't know that. They might feel jealous of each other. There might be hurt feelings. And even if you are just in the dating scene, you're like, yeah, it's okay. I can be with multiple people. I mean, don't you feel at the end of the day, there's something wrong within you that you're doing that? I don't know. I just don't really understand. Anyhow, yeah, it's a concept that's been lost on me and I will never quite agree with. I just like this whole dating culture. But then on the other end of the spectrum, I'm not like a conservative religious person, so it's not like I'm on one of those dating sites. But hey, they do it on those too. Because years ago, when I was in my early 20s, like, I'm nominally Christian. I don't go to church or anything, but I would say like I grew up with somewhat Christian beliefs. I joined like a Christian dating site because I thought, well, maybe like the guys on there are more interested in finding a serious relationship. And at first, this one guy seemed really nice, and I naively said, "Oh, you guys like seem so nice on these Christian dating sites, and I think you want to get to know someone." And he told me, "Well, that's not exactly true." He said that he met a woman through the Christian dating site, and she claimed to be a Christian too, but she was so hot that they went home and they had crazy sex for her weeks on end. And he didn't really want to be in a relationship with her, but she was so hot that he loves like just sleeping around with her. But then there was another woman that he met. He said he was super compatible with her, okay? Like they had so much in common. Like he could see himself marrying her. Like they had good conversations, but she lived too far away. So he wouldn't make any kind of compromises. And I just thought, okay, like that may just be one person, but I talked to a few people and it wasn't really all that different than the mainstream dating sites. It would just be like, yeah, we have some nominal Christian beliefs, but a lot of the guys were doing the same things. And I don't know about the women because I don't date women on dating sites, so I can't tell you what the women are doing, but I just knew like with guys, like it was kind of the same thing where they were doing what guys did on mainstream dating sites, but like it claimed, like they said that the whole mission of these dating sites was to find a relationship and to make it work no matter what. That was the whole supposed to be the whole idea, like behind it. And I guess what that's kind of like what I do like if you are going about like a dating site, maybe with a Christian theme, but not necessarily Christian or Islamic or whatever. But you can kind of have that mindset. I kind of like the idea that you're looking for a relationship and you would go to the ends of the earth for that person and you would compromise and do things for them. And I I'm not exactly old fashioned, but I am old fashioned in a way that I don't mind if a man opens doors for me, and I wouldn't mind cooking a meal for a man, and I don't mind dressing up. But I also think, on the same token, I don't have a problem with a guy that would actually be a provider and do things for his family. Like, I don't like some women, like, that doesn't mean I can't do things for myself because I always have. I haven't ever been offended by those specific gender roles or people who do those things. And I know a lot of women, they find that offensive. They'd be like, no, like a guy he can't compromise and do all these things and we're equal and I need to pay too and I must pay. And like, no, like, I don't know. So there's just like a lot of things on dating sites I don't really get. And I'm not super religious. Like, I'm not religious. So I don't really go on the Christian dating sites either. Like, I don't date anymore because I'm like, so I just try to see who I meet in the real life and sort of talking to people at the moment, but it's like I don't see it going anywhere. Like, but like it's been good though. Like I kind of had a disagreement with the person I was talking to, but we got through it because he had a certain kind of maturity. It was different than the last person I talked to because he actually thought about something I said and he came back to me and he like said like he thought about something I said. I was like, oh wow, like you're kind of mature. Like that was actually nice. Like because previously, like the person I was talking to before that, he never would reflect on anything. So anyhow, it's not even like it's a top priority. Like I don't know, maybe I'm never gonna get married at this point in my life. I don't really make it a priority to look to get married, I guess, because I know like what I would like to find, and I just haven't found that yet. And I just don't want to put up with nonsense anymore. Like I don't have time for it. Like, look, even in my 20s, I wasn't interested in that potato. So yeah, I ended up being somebody who was selective and careful. But some people think that's a bad thing. I don't know. Like they I don't know why anybody would think that's a bad thing, but whatever. It's not a bad thing though. It's just like in some circles it's not considered like exciting, I guess. But like what kind of a circle is that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so yes, that is my little story time type thing about like the whole dating thought, my whole thought on the whole dating culture. And a lot of people think like if you're single that you must be looking for someone. It's not that I'm not looking for someone, it's just I wanted to meet the right person. And sometimes I can't help but be attracted to certain people, but then I realize like I don't know, like can I even trust my like being attracted to certain people because they always end up being like the person I ended up being attracted to ended up being like a bad apple and really wasn't somebody that like they kind of used that to their advantage. Like it just so and then I can kind of see like I hate to say it, I can kind of see why women date men that they're not attracted to. Like I know that sounds really horrible like when people hear women say, "Oh, they don't really find him attractive, but he sounds like a nice guy." But I feel like there's some validity to it because maybe like some women don't feel comfortable dating and marrying like a guy that's a bad boy. Like I wouldn't like, just after having a small taste of it, like I don't like it. And this guy wasn't even an extreme bad boy. It's just like I don't like it. Like some people, they love that kind of grape jelly jam stuff, and I just don't know. Like I can see why women who do want to get married, they go with guys that some people might consider unattractive, but they're just really nice and they're sincere and they're kind. And I'm not saying that attractive guys are always like, because there's plenty of guys that are unattractive that are very ego driven, believe me. You'd be surprised. Like, there's a lot of really sweet, attractive, humble, attractive guys. Sometimes they're gay. Like a lot of the really good looking ones, they might be sweet and kind, but they're not really into women. So I'm not stereotyping all guys. I'm just saying, I do understand like these women who they marry somebody that their family might think like, why are they with that guy? And she might say, well, I wasn't really attracted to him at first, but it just was that he was so like thoughtful and considerate because I can kind of see why. Because if you just go with a guy that like he looks cute, he might just be a total bipolar nincompoop. Like, I don't know. Like, you have to be careful about these things. But at the end of the day, it's not even that exciting because, like, is dating and being married all that? Like, I don't know. I've been single for a long time, so I don't really feel like it is all that. Like, I think some people are just so afraid to be alone. Bad boys are afraid to be alone, by the way. They can't be alone for a second. Like, that's the funny thing about a bad boy. Like, they're afraid to be single, because if they were really okay with being single, would they be out there on the app and swiping right and left, or just like picking up lots of women, and just like they could be okay going home and, I don't know, learning a foreign language or doing some DIY project on their house and waiting until they met the right person, if they were truly okay with being single. But they're not. Like the people in the party scene or the meat market, I don't think they're okay with being single. Like they can't be alone. They're always out just meeting different people. It's just different people. But they need somebody to fill a void because they can't fill a void within themselves. You know? It's kind of interesting when you think about it that way. It's very fascinating, this whole topic. I'm just like, but I guess with COVID, a lot of this kind of isn't so much an issue, but people still do it. Like they were still on the dating app. They just were meeting at each other's houses. It's kind of creepy, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's safe to be on the dating scene. Like you need to be careful, people. Like don't just do anything. Like I know a lot of people think like anything goes in our society and you have the freedom to do whatever you want and you should do whatever you want. Just do it. It's like very scary because there's other diseases besides COVID that you could get. Like you could get HIV, you could get syphilis, you can get other things. It's not just like COVID that you could get, especially if you're just like into this casual whatever. You need to be more careful. Like people just aren't prudent. And I think also the thing that is true is that there's bonding chemicals that people have when they're in a like any kind of physical relationship with someone. And I know people say, oh no, this doesn't happen and people can't feel any sense of bonding with people through the sex act, but yes they can. And sometimes people start to feel attached to someone, um and then the other person, they might not feel that sense of attachment. But that's why some people, even if things start out casual, like later on somebody else might feel differently. And I think that's a big problem with this whole dating scene is people are just pretending like I feel like they're using alcohol or like more thrills like to fill a void within themselves. And I'm just like, what is it that you're trying to fill that is missing? Like there's something within you. Like if you need to have that thrill, if you need to cheat, if you need to deviate from your relationship, if you need to be in the casual meat market, I just feel like there's something that's lacking within you that you can't find within yourself. And I think it is really cool when there's people that haven't been like honestly, like I think there's something to be said to people who don't do all those behaviors because you know that are more restrained. Now, I'm not saying like you have to be like completely virtuous, super religious. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about because those guys, like I said, they do all the same things too. They just pretend like they're religious, which kind of is more nauseating, really. Josh Duggar and the whole like what was it, Ashley Madison scandal. That was like, oh, but what I'm trying to convey is I think there's something to be said with being more prudent and being monogamous. I think being monogamous is the most exciting thing you could do. Like I feel like monogamy is so much more exciting than the buffet of many options. Like how could somebody not see that? Like I feel like getting to know one person is an amazing idea. Like, I don't know. Like I believe in that. So that's where I stand. And, all the people that are into this, like all the different people in the world, like, ugh, no. And that was something I never liked when I was younger. That's why I waited to date so long. And then if you just don't meet somebody that you connect with, like you get exposed, like you don't want to expose, like personally, this is just my opinion. I don't want to expose myself to that. Like there are women actually, they've been divorced, okay, and they're getting back on the dating scene in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And there's older men. I mean, some older women like to do that too. There are women that are out there and they like to do that. But like in my circles, like with most women I talk to, they're not the ones that are out like getting multiple guys. Like you don't like you'll hear about a cougar. I don't do workout bit videos and diets. Like workout videos, that's not what this channel is about. I just walk. Like I'm about exercise in real life, like ditch your car and go for a walk, like walk to work, walk home, like clean your house. Why are you paying to be in a gym? Like, that's not what my channel's about. Sometimes I post food, like food I make, but yeah, I don't do it like all these other Instagram people. Like, they have like specific ideas, but yeah, I don't post that. And that's also an edited thing too. Like, I would have to sit down and edit that. And like I just got through telling you guys, I'm getting ready to leave for work soon. I work 38 hours a week and I walk to work sometimes and I walk home from work, which can take up another like few hours of my week. So it's not like I have tons of free time. And I actually need to sleep and clean my house still, okay? So I like to do live streams where I talk and just do my hair. And that's why I've done that a little bit more. Because my whole idea of being fit is like to ditch your car and to walk. So I don't know. People wouldn't really like what would I tell them that you should fire your maid and clean your own house? Like, that's probably what I would say. Like, why are you paying for gym membership that you barely use and your maid that you scold? I mean, there's nothing wrong with having people help you clean your house, but like there's just a lot of things about like I've always cleaned my own space. Like, I know how to clean. Like, I push myself to brink and back. I work and then I clean and then like I try to cook, but I haven't been making as much time for cooking as I should, you know? So I don't know, like a lot of what you see, like those type of videos, like that's not really my lifestyle. So like if I did a video like that, it wouldn't look like what those ladies are doing. So I guess like I could do a video talking about being a pedestrian in Southern California and how you can get around without a car in Southern California, which is something people, but I kind of already did a video showing that and it didn't have a large amount of viewership. Like, I just said, hey, look, I'm walking to work. Like, you can be physically fit on your feet walking. You don't have to have a car. Like, you can do physical things. Like, if you vacuum like, I vacuumed my floor last night and I got down in the low cabinet and moved things around. Like, my whole idea of physical fitness is like doing things to maintain your space, not going out and lifting weights. You know, I have a different idea on physical fitness. Anyhow, that's probably where I'm at for now. What time is it? Let's see. Oh, it's only 11:17. I thought it was a lot later. So, like, is there anything else anybody else wants to talk about that I think would be like interesting? Like a cool suggestion about alternative lives, like, and not like the alternative like tattoo lifestyle, but maybe what would be kind of cool is, but then I don't want to promise it because then it's another thing I have to edit. And I know, look, I've made edited videos on here. Do you guys watch my edited videos? You know, I have a lot of edited videos on here already. So, but if I did make a new video, maybe one thing could be just here's my thought. It could be how to walk to work, just something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching.